Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about Shadestep and my Wraithmail build using Dragon Shadow, okay? Previously, this was pretty much my build setup, minus these mobility mods. I used to run 4 Paragon Mods, a recovery mod, and keep myself at 100 recovery, thanks to these fancy War Mantis blue gloves. I have a set for each resilience, base recovery, and recovery mobility one that I like to use. So essentially, before the recent update to Destiny in this current season, aka Season of Dawn, I used to have a Shadestep pretty much up every 10 seconds. 10 seconds. So 4 Paragon Mods was like 10.5 second cooldown. 5 Paragons was like 9.5. It was pretty marginal, and I wanted to ensure that I had around 5 mobility at the time and as much recovery as possible. And towards the end of the season, I managed to get 100 recovery on both of my builds, or at least very close to it. 98 here, need to masterwork one of my items, and I'd be all set, aka the Dragon Shadow. But anyways, my 2 builds, keeping me very high in regards to the mobility spectrum and very high in regards to the recovery spectrum. Well, after Season of Dawn has launched, they have deprecated the Paragon Mods. I've already deleted them or taken them off. They no longer exist. They are not here in the perk pool, unfortunately. Kind of a bummer, but they have brought it back in the mobility stat. So, my current class setup, I have 8 mobility with this build, and that brings my Shadestep cooldown to 11 seconds, okay? Now, here's the trick. There used to be Paragon Mods with Armor 1.0. They still exist. They have always worked, even after the changes, but when Season of the Dawn hit, deprecating Armor 2.0 Paragon Mods has not gotten rid of the Paragon Mods that you can put on. So, with all my current like Year 2 or Armor 2.0 gear, I have an 11-second Shadestep cooldown. It's not terrible, okay? Wraithmail active. You'll see that it is pretty much active the entire time while my Shadestep is on cooldown, okay? And it resets almost instantly, right at the exact moment. So if I wanted to, I could keep Wraithmail up all the time. For those of you guys who don't know what Wraithmail is, Dragon Shadow, it's an exotic perk that offers increased weapon handling, increased reload speed, increased slide distance, and it used to offer a base mobility increase. Now, I'm not sure whether or not that is still happening, but it used to be plus 5 mobility, which allowed you to essentially achieve maximum mobility, aka 10, while only having a 5 mobility stat on your character. Because Wraithmail is active, it has plus 5, then you have 10, right? So dodging reloads all weapons increase both movement and weapon handling speeds for a brief time. Okay, very good exotic, very slept on in my opinion. My favorite public match build for sure, and I still use it in comp to this day. So we're going to jump into the change though. For those of you guys that have all of your Armor 1.0 mods, you're going to be very happy about this. So I have enhanced hand cannon target on my helmet here. I managed to nab a long time ago. We can do Paragon on that guy. I will put on my old Dragon Shadow that I did not delete. It is a very low base roll, though, of 50 compared to the current 72 with the mobility mod, so 62 base without the mobility mod. And let's put on our old boots. So we have enhanced shotgun dex Paragon mod. Super cool build. And then our last Paragon mod for shotgun scavenger. So running double scavengers, it does still work. I'm running 6 mobility. It says my Shadestep cooldown is at 16 seconds. Well, that's going to be full of crap. So watch the Shadestep indicator, bottom left, right next to the hand cannon. We'll walk forward so you guys can see it. And you guys remember how Wraithmail reset right when the Shadestep reset? Well, Wraithmail's still up, and I have my Shadestep back, and it's up for an extended period of time beyond when my Shadestep regenerates. So, 16-second ability cooldown is not taking into account the Paragon mods that I am wearing. Remember, they're Armor 1.0 Paragons. These ones get deleted when you delete them, aka they are not infinite. You have to have them. If you have them on your old pieces of gear and you haven't deleted them, you can use this. Otherwise, you're kind of crap out of luck, which kind of sucks, but Armor 1.0 Paragons. 6 mobility. Okay. Now I can alter this further. I have mobility there. I can put on mobility, I believe, on 2 more of my pieces of gear. Mobility there. I have my snipe gear I can also use, and then mess with my mobility as well. That's at 7 mobility. And if I want to go up even further, I could do 8 mobility, 3 recovery, although I probably wouldn't do this. It says my cooldown would be at 13 seconds. Okay. as I goof that one up. We'll go ahead and Shadestep one more time. And that thing is flying up. Absolutely flying. Wraithmail is up pretty much, I would want to say like an extra half of the cooldown that would be present. That's amazing. Absolutely absurd. Now, if I were to pair this with something like Wormhusk, I could have Shadestep all the time. I literally could just be regenerating health like every 4 or 5 seconds. In fact, we'll probably do today's stream for it. And today is the 12th. So we'll probably, we'll probably piss some people off. This is an insane build. So the difference between 6 mobility and the 8 mobility that I would have when using different boots here, it changes from 16 seconds, I think, down to 13. Let me double check. It goes from 18 seconds, I'm sorry, and then down into 13. So you get a 5-second shave off of the 2 mobility. 5 seconds. But with 5 Paragon mods, it gets nuts. So I'm going to go ahead and do the whole recording real fast, break it down, and we'll try to get an exact measurement of time between Shadesteps. So this is 8 mobility, 5 Paragons, all year 1 armor, or I should say armor 1.0 armor. And here we go. Literally flying up. And we'll have to take a look at this. I'll put the value on screen. Absolutely nuts. Let's go ahead and switch it up to the 6. Oops, that's my different armor. My 6 mobility, 4 recovery. And we'll do it again. Still absurdly fast. And whatever the value is, we'll put it up on screen again. So, just a brief interjection here. So it seems that both of those cooldowns are exactly the same. Now that could point towards Dragon Shadow's increase in mobility passive that isn't listed on the item itself, still being accurate and still working. It used to be +5 mobility, so you could run 5 in-game mobility as a stat. Shadestep, get the +5, and then basically be maxed at 10. This kind of points at that. I'm not sure if it's still the case, but there's no difference between 60 mobility versus 80 mobility in 5 Paragon mods. They're literally like within 1 frame of each other, so just thought you guys should know. There you have it. If you have Armor 1.0 Paragon gear on your Hunter, well, I think it's time to dig it out. Because it is absolutely bonkers. Super fast. Now, when pairing this together, some of you might ask, well, Brian, I've never really heard of Dragon Shadow. Why should I use it? If you remember using Blade Dancer from Destiny 1, you had Quick Draw as an intrinsic perk, right? You could choose that, and it made your weapons handle very fast. Well, Last Word, you know, isn't necessarily bad with this kit, because I do have kinetic weapon loader and stuff. But when it comes to switching weapons, it is still very slow. Like, you check the equip time on these, well, you have to basically, you know, show off your moves before equipping your weapon and being able to fire it. Well, if you have Wraithmail up, it is essentially Quick Draw from Destiny 1. It is insane. It is very good. Right, compared to this. So, having this availability to then maneuver around the map with lightning fast handling speed on all of my weapons, increased slide distance too, paired with the instant reload, if I were to challenge someone, kill them, whatever, get some green ammo, roll over, or basically slide over it, and then Shadestep, I'm instantly reloaded. If I have a shotgun that's out of ammo after I killed someone, slide over their body, Shadestep, instant reload, okay? Super, super, super good. Now, at the beginning of Season of Dawn, there was a dynamo bug. Essentially, you could Shadestep around opponents with double dynamo on Armor 2.0 gear, and it would insanely boost your super regeneration. That has since been patched. It has been removed. Dynamo no longer works for now. And running these Paragon mods with that even made it worse. But enough of that. If you guys want to be a part of the insanity of having Shadestep up every X amount of seconds, you'll see the value on screen. Armor 1.0 Paragons. Pull them out. Have a good time. enjoy essentially Destiny 1 when it came to the cooldown of Shadestep. It's very good. Very, very, very good. And I haven't even unlocked the new artifact mod yet, which I believe is, let's see, Void Battery. Activating Void class abilities grants overshield increased cooldown of your class ability. Well, I'll be willing to bet with these 5 Paragon mods, it makes that, like, debuff on your class ability non-noticeable. So, once I unlock it, I'm sure I'll have another video up on this, so you guys will see me on stream talk about it. Very strong. On wrap-up, though, Shadestep cooldown, insanely fast, fantastic for Dragon Shadow, also fantastic for Wormhusk, and I'm kind of scared to see what Wormhusk turns into this season due to this issue. I don't know if they're going to eventually patch it so that Armor 1.0 Paragons no longer work as well, but who knows. Enjoy it while it lasts. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you want to see more stuff like this, feel free to give me a shout out or something like that in the comments section. If you want to watch more gameplay live using stuff like this, check out the link in the description, twitch.tv/ninja_with_no_l. And you're welcome for the pinky workout.